Neither of us said anything the entire ride back to the hotel. Taehyung kept me in his lap, alternating between nibbling the mark on my neck and licking the wound on my face. At first, I was completely disgusted by him licking my face, but a loud growl from him made me shut up. I'm sure our taxi driver thought we were crazy. It took all the way home for him to calm down. Your body returned to normal, although his breathing was still erratic. Once at the hotel, he picked me up and carried me all the way to our room. We got a few weird looks on the way there, but luckily no one said anything. In our room, he immediately took me to the private bathroom and placed me on the counter. He placed himself between my legs. Kyle. He yelled as he grabbed a towel and placed it under the faucet. Bring me ice. He brought the damp towel to the part of my face that had been ruptured by Carl's punch and gently wiped it away. I shuddered. Taehyung growled. Xenotation spot, what were you doing there? Taehyung asked as he washed away the blood. I hesitated. I knew I shouldn't tell him, but I really didn't want to lie. It was my mom's house, I muttered. The man who hit me was mom's mate. Taehyung nodded, not making eye contact. Why didn't you take me with you? My shoulders slumped. I looked down at my hands. I was afraid of what you might do to her if knew who he was and where he lived. Taehyung sighed. Carefully, he took my chin and tilted it down. My head to look at him. His eyes softened. Listen to me, YN, and listen well. I would never do anything to hurt you. Never. I know you and your mother don't have the best relationship, but I know I would never do anything to her if I risk losing you. He leaned down and kissed my forehead. Then he put his forehead to mine and looked deep into my eyes. He cupped the side of my face that was whole. I need you to trust me, YN. I care about you too much for you to run away because you're scared. Talk to me. Communicate. Let's take care of this together. Ever. I took a deep breath and closed my eyes. Okay, I whispered. Someone suddenly cleared their throat. Taehyung and I both look up to see Kyle standing in the doorway. Sorry to interrupt this touching moment, he said, smiling at both of us. Here's the ice pack you asked for, Alpha. He handed it to Taehyung. Now I can see why you needed this. You look awful, Luna. Gee, thanks, Kyle, I said sarcastically. He laughed. It was nothing, he said. He winked at me before walking away. Taehyung finished tending to my wound, bandaging it and pressing the ice pack on it gently. You're going to keep this there until all the ice melts. I don't matter how long it takes. Your face is already swelling up a lot. I nodded. It hurt like hell. I'm going to get some ibuprofen for the pain, Taehyung said as he tucked a strand of hair behind my ear. Stay here, okay? I shook my head again. After he left the room, I sighed and leaned against the mirror behind me. My life has completely turned upside down in just a few weeks. I felt overwhelmed. No, I felt more than overwhelmed. I felt completely out of my mind. I felt tears forming in my eyes. It was all too much to hold on. I wanted everything to go back to normal. I wanted to jump in a time machine. Going back to being with my dad and working at the diner, before I had to worry about money or where to live. I looked around, trying to control my breathing. But as a time machine is not available. I want to go home and regain control of my life. Even my mother, who always looked so well-groomed and in control, was wearing a mask. She was obviously living in an environment that prevented her from making any decision. I didn't want to live like this. I just wanted to go home. I just want to go home. I noticed then that Taehyung's phone was on the counter next to me. I glanced at the door to see if he was coming, then put the phone in my pocket. Taehyung returned a few seconds later, holding a glass of water and medicine. When he saw the tears in my eyes, he put the cup and glasses down. Pills on the counter and it was in front of me in moments. Xenotation spot, why are you crying? He asked. Because I have to leave you, I thought. My face hurts, that's all, I said. He frowned and ran his knuckles lightly over my bruise. I hate that you got hurt. I wish I had appeared there before that happened. That bastard will pay for this, I promise you. I shook my head. Xenotation spot no. No, please don't do anything to him. I don't want to hurt my mother. Taehyung sighed. He handed me the glass of water and the ibuprofen. Drink all the water. After I took the medicine, Taehyung led me into the bedroom and sat on the bed so that his back was against the headboard. He placed me on his lap and cradled me in his arms. You have no idea how worried I was, he confessed into my neck. I'm sorry, I said. I needed to see my mother. He murmured as he continued to breathe in my scent. Don't ever leave me like that again, okay? He placed a KSS on my neck. His KCs continued down my neck before I could respond. He KS'd my mark and then returned to my chin, leaving wet KCs in his wake. Finally, he reached my mouth, moving his lips against mine with such passion it took my breath away. As I became more and more distracted by current events, I forgot to keep the ice pack against my cheek. Taehyung growled and grabbed my hand, pressing it back to my face. I rolled my eyes. He laid me down on the bed and hovered over me without taking his lips from mine. His hands moved under my shirt, tracing the lines of my ribs. Wow, this progressed fast. Taehyung, I said through his KCs. He didn't stop. Taehyung, I tried again. He rolled off me a little and nuzzled mine affectionately. We need to stop, I said. I know, he said. You have no idea how hard it is not to KSS you every second of every day. I swallowed hard. I could feel my cheeks turning red. Xenotation spot. Thanks. He laughed and got off of me. He ran a hand through his hair. I need to go take a shower, probably a cold one. Would you like to participate? My blush intensified. Xenotation spot no. That was a one-off, buddy. He chuckled again, leaning down to place one more quick KSS on my lips before getting up. Yeah, we'll see, baby, he said. Now, are you going to be a good girl and stay here and not run away while I'm in the shower, or am I going to need to handcuff you to the bed? I shook my head quickly. Xenotation spot I'll stay here. Fine, Taehyung said and then walked into the bathroom. I sighed and looked up at the ceiling. All I wanted was sleep, but I knew that now might be the only time I would have alone. I took her phone and typed in the password I'd seen earlier. Do I really want to do this?